Rich's quick questions.
Start off, what's your favourite ever venue?
Favourite ever venue? I reckon I'm going to probably say one you wouldn't expect in Ireland. What's it called now? I'm trying to think of the name of it now. We used to call them Leonard's Shallows and Leonard's Deeps, the two separate lakes. I suppose it's part of Loch Earn. Yeah. It was like Leonard's Shallows a bit. It was absolutely solid with great big ropes. It was only about 4 or 5 foot deep. There's one venue. I only actually fished it a few times, but every time I fish it, it's just absolutely stunning venue, like full of fish. And it's Ireland, really. I haven't been for a few years, but if I was going to pick one venue, so you got to fish that lake for the rest of your life, that'd probably be it. Leonard's Shallows.
Yeah. Is that on the radar a bit for kind of going back to Ireland and a bit more down?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. I was toying with the idea again, maybe the World Pairs this year. Obviously, who knows now, but yeah, it's definitely on the radar again, yeah. Have a week or two there, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely
looks like mega fishing there, and it's, I suppose, totally different as well from what we've got.
Oh, it's awesome. It's better. I'll probably stop going when I started going to White Acres, which is 8 or 9 years ago. And I think the fishing's got better since when we used to go. It dropped off a bit when we were going. The fishing got a bit hard. And
it's just taken a big turn, hasn't it? Back in the day, it was a lot of bream fishing, and now it's pretty much no bream fishing and all roach and the odd hybrid sort of stuff. And
yeah, well, where we used to go, it was more roachy, hybridy fishing anyway. In Southern Ireland, Northern Ireland, the one that's really gone, the bream has sort of disappeared, haven't they? And it's all got more pole. Well, I say more pole fishing, a lot of feeder fishing now for roach and hybrids, I suppose, isn't it? But when we were going, the festival started dropping off. We got less and less. Fishing was iffy, and that's sort of half the reason we stopped going, really. But the festival, there's millions of festivals now, and then World Pairs and
booming again now.
It's massive again, yeah.
Yeah,
but it looks quite good where it's just not faffy fishing, is it? It's just like, I'm going to fish a single maggot on a size 14 big barb duck or something.
14?
Wow.
12, isn't it?
But yeah, it's not messing about. So next one, and you might think something straight away, but if you want to come back to it, let us know. Funniest thing you've ever witnessed whilst on the bank?
Funniest thing. There's a lot of funny things over the years. I might have to get back to you on that one, actually. Yeah. I'll try and think. There has been a lot of things, but I can't remember the name. One of the things just popped into my head. One of Swinno's mates was fishing. It was on the Trent somewhere. I can't remember who it was now, but he basically squatted down to do a number 2 in the lake, in the river. One of them old teddy bear suits. You probably know the story or similar stories. Hood on the teddy bear suit, fishing away, sticks the hood back up and like straight on top of his head. Can't remember the name of the bloke. And there's like one of them mates just like going like, he's like realised, he's like, what, it's like,
I've heard a few different people with stories like that. So them one piece suits, was it?
Them teddy bear suit.
Yeah, that boiler suit one.
I think I've still got one somewhere.
He'd obviously dropped it down and the hood was there ready to catch it.
Ready to catch it, lovely, it is that. Yeah, I think I'll probably finger loads of funny stories afterwards, yeah. If I think of another one, I'll get back to you. That's just one. There's millions of stories, I think.
Biggest fish you've ever caught?
Biggest fish last year, actually, at Decoy, 20... Was it 21 or 20? I think it's 21 pound, a ghosty. Bit of a dobbing match. Me and Chris Barley had a dob off. That was 29.30 on Beastie.
Yeah, just to tell us about this, because was this the match where you've had your record ever weight? Was it 3 pound or so?
Yeah, I think I had
13 or so.
Something like that. About 300.
But then Chris actually beat you on the day.
395 or something. Anyone that knows Chris Barley, he's like Mr. Dobbin King. He loves it.
Yeah.
His favourite ever method. And we both drawn, anyone that knows Beastie Lake at Decoy, 2 pegs are exactly the same, really. 29 and 30. They're identical pegs. Fairest 2 pegs you're going to get. And he's got his super special glasses on, which I actually went and invested in a pair, I think, straight after that match. Because he gave me them after the match, put them on. I was like, That's one of them moments. I'm having some of them. You can see 10 times more fish with his glasses on. And he just laughed at me. He's had them for years. But yeah, £21. Little ghosty. I've got a picture of it on my phone. Lovely fish. Immaculate. Like I'd never been caught. £21 ghost. I see it, dobbed it, and it's like took off to the lake, to the far bank. Like, oh, let's come back. Took forever to get in. Great big fat £21, yeah.
Nice.
That is the biggest one, yeah.
Why do ghosters always pull harder than everything else?
There's something in, isn't there? They go mental. Actually, that peg, going back to that, Chris Barley drew my peg 2 weeks later in a Maver Matches final qualifier. He said it in the morning. He said, if I draw that peg, you might as well all go home. And he drew it. And he's had £390 again, I think. Absolutely paralysed the match. 2 hours in, rumours come down the bank. Chris has got £200 odd. I mean, if anyone was ever going to win a match dobbing, it was that day.
Over.
You could walk over the fish. He ran it. I think he said to someone, what's the match record in Maver Matches qualifiers or something? As soon as he drew it, like he weren't joking either.
Yeah, that's confidence for you.
He paralysed it.
But yeah, that's got to be one of the biggest things. Anyone who's looking to get better at that's a weird thing. Whether you call it mugging or dobbing, it almost seems to change where you are in the country.
Yeah, definitely.
Dobbin's dobbing bread. Dobbing mugging's mugging him off the surface, isn't it? Like mugging's spotting him and swinging a rig at him, I've always thought, and dobbing's like winter fishing dobbing. But
that's how it needs. So them two things need. Yeah, that is that, and that is. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
stop confusion.
as you move down south, it's almost like
dobbing, mugging.
It becomes dobbing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's like that warm down there in the winter that they don't need to mess about dobbing bits of bread.
Dobbing, but they use casters though and things like that down there. You know,
casters and wafters or wafters or I don't know. I have to work with them down there, don't I? So shouldn't I? But yeah, that was the point I was making as well on getting a decent pair of polarizing glasses for when you are mugging or whatever. It's amazing how many people do actually overlook it. But like you say, as soon as you've tried them, it's like, right, totally missed it.
I don't even think I had any on, or I had a cheap pair and I could hardly see anything out of them, let alone see the fish. And I put them on and it was like, he said, can't you see them? I went, no, he put them on and there's like these 5 fish there and you can't, it's ridiculous. I was like, I'm having some of them.
What were they? The Costa Del Mar ones, were they?
Is it? I think it is them, isn't it? Tuna Alley.
That
thing, is it?
Yeah, Costa sunglasses. But yeah, there's a couple that are like.
He said he could see them in my peg. I could catch them early because there was loads of them. Then I stopped catching them, and he said they was in your peg all day, and I just couldn't see it.
I always find that you can always see. It's always the angle, isn't it? So like the further away you are, the better you can see them, and the higher you are as well.
Yeah.
It's when you're there and you're looking at a surface like this, you're seeing too much skim. Whereas if you're over here and you're like looking down a lot more on the next peg, or there tends to be shadow. I always find that you can see them in someone else's peg, and they'll say, "Do you know there's tons of fish in your peg?" And then you'll be like, "Yeah, but they're wearing yours as well." So I always find so.
That day as well, Chris, I was stood up all day, and Chris just sat on his box all day. He didn't even stand up. I'm like, you can't see anything sitting down. He could with these on. It was like, talk about a game changer. Like, what we're doing,
isn't it? And does just allow you to see that.
Yeah, because you get a lot in Hayfield where you've got that high, where you've got a high bank behind you. The amount of people are stood behind people saying, "Oh, why is he not like trying for that one?" And because you've got that elevation, you can see it dead easy. But when you're sat there on your box, you can't see anything. It's the same thing.
You're not allowed to stand up either there, are you? So it makes it even harder, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like when you've got white water, that's when it's impossible as well. You've got to have a nice shadow or something, a feature that they swim past where you can clearly see them. And I'd be always tempted if you're not allowed to stand up, set your box as high as you can because you've got a better angle on it.
Awesome.
Power's the other one, isn't it? He's like mad for different pairs. He's like different types of lenses and all that sort of thing for different.
I've always done a bit of dobbing. Obviously, you have to do it, don't you? But that, to me, that was just ridiculous. So, sort of changed my whole mindset on dobbing. It was like, got to get some of these glasses. And it's just a game changer. You're missing out. I probably could have beat him easy if I'd had the same glasses. It's just ridiculous, really. I couldn't believe it. It's like one of them moments of what have I been doing.
Yeah, I think you need that occasionally, though, don't you? You need to get properly battered for you actually to take notice of something.
Definitely, yeah. Well, he's beat me by £100, even though I've had a mega weight. He's beat me by £100. It's like,
your biggest match weight, wasn't it, I believe?
Yeah, my biggest weight, and he's still beat me easily, really.
Nice. So, next question. What would be your perfect day's fishing?
Perfect? Ooh, it nearly was at Hayfield, yeah. Maver final. That was nearly a perfect day. Till that last hour. I don't think I've ever had a perfect day's fishing. I don't think you ever do. I don't think anyone ever gets the perfect day fishing. But
I think if you're having a perfect day, you start getting paranoid that it's not as perfect as you think, and somebody must be beating you.
I've had some like perfect 2 or 3 hours fishing, and then suddenly it goes wrong. But I suppose the perfect day, you just don't miss bites. You sort of get them. Some days you think that was the perfect day, but then afterwards you think, well, no, I've still lost a few and missed a few bites. But yeah, a perfect day, I suppose. Yeah, you're not missing bites and everything comes in, and there's plenty of imperfect days, and we get plenty of them, don't we?
Yeah. So you've been lucky enough to get an alcoholic drink sponsor. Which company are you picking?
I think I've got to go for the obvious one, Carlin, because that's all we ever drink at White Acres.
But not on the Rattler down there.
No, I don't. I have an odd one of them, but no, I don't really go down that road. Stick to what I
know. If you could take a non-angling celebrity fishing for the day, who would it be?
Oh, non-angling. Who shall I say on that one? So like music, like Robbie Williams. Yeah, I say Robbie. I like Robbie's music.
He'd be a good laugh, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's a boy, and I think you could have a good crack with him. And I think he might go fishing, thinking about it. But yeah, he'd be good. I love his songs. Bit of like say Robbie Williams. He'll do.
Yeah, nice. If match fishing was to be permanently banned, what branch of fishing would you go into?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Back to your roots, pike fishing?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Possibly that, or I suppose the old specie carp fishing. I've always thought about having a go at that.
Yeah. But then I suppose it's not too far. Like, if you're fishing decoy in Hayfield, specie carp fishing probably isn't that far removed from what you're doing at the moment.
Just a few tweaks and that, and I think you're almost there, aren't you? But I don't know, really. So obviously the match fishing side, the competitive side, that's the whole point we go, isn't it? So to actually go and sit there and sort of basically not do a lot.
Or would you go into something non-fishing related, something competitive?
Possibly, yeah. I might go down that way. I like playing pool a lot. I got my own pool table in the garden. Well, say in the garden, at the bottom of the garden. I do like playing pool. So maybe I could just have I'm going to be a pool player. I don't know if I'd ever make it that far, but
I've seen you win a few quid down at White Acres in the
I do like playing pool. Yeah, I got a bit of a spot for pool, definitely. Pool and fishing. That's about it, really.
Nice. And the final question: what's the best angling performance you've ever witnessed?
Yeah, last year, I'm going to say Jamie last year. I weren't fortunate enough to make any of the finals last year, and I watched them both, actually, Maver and the Golden Reel. That Golden Reel, I think he said it is probably his best ever performance. He was behind all day in that. He was never winning that, really. From where he come, really, sort of not come from nowhere, because he's always there or thereabouts, but to just nick it at the end as well, and really, he was never winning that. It didn't look like he was winning it, did he? And suddenly he's had a couple late on, and I think Pete lost one, and a like proper cool performance, if you like. Cool under pressure, and I was supposed to say, I haven't really watched many fishing matches, I suppose, but the last couple of years I've not been in finals, so I've actually been and watched them, and that definitely stands out for me, watching Jamie. I'd rather have been there, obviously, but watching fish is not quite the same as being there, is it? But
no,
I don't want to get too used to it either. But that was a good one. Fair play to Jamie that day. To obviously go on after he just won the Maver as well and top it off with that.
Relentless, isn't it?
Fair play.
Lovely. That's all I've got.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, so that rounds up that particular section. Jon, thank you very much for being our first guest back.
No worries. Thank you very much.
We are back now. We're lining up lots of new guests over the next few weeks. Obviously, your feedback, everybody, is always greatly appreciated. This will be going up as a podcast as well on to YouTube. If you're on our YouTube channel, please subscribe. If you listen through through any app, iTunes or whatever it is, pass the podcast on and let other people know. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.